In the Metroid series canon, there's a couple of little stories that could have been told to expand the narrative even further, and at the same time, add a couple of games under the main series belt. You could make a remake or a retelling of Metroid 2 similar to what they did with Metroid Zero Mission. Get the original Metroid game, expand the story and gameplay, and boom. Or you can make a sequel to Metroid Prime 3 because people love Metroid Prime, and at the same time, the ending of Metroid Prime 3 kinda gave us an ambiguous ending of what the ship was all about and its potential sequel. Or you can get the game from the very end of the series, Metroid Fusion, and make a sequel based on that to expand the timeline even further, because at the moment, there's still a lot of speculation of what happened after the events of Metroid Fusion. But what if I told you there was a potential story hidden in between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M? Well, let's get started then. So what do I mean when I say the potential sequel in between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M? Well, what I'm saying is Samus went through a journey that we're not aware of in between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M. I don't know how to make that any more clear than it is, but that's what I'm saying. There's a couple of stuff that I find odd about Metroid Other M. Other than the fact that the gameplay was actually pretty cool, but the story was bad and Samus kept on talking about that damn baby.
The baby, and the baby, or the baby, of the baby, or the baby. Babies cry, the babies cry.
Wow. No, what I find very odd is how they changed Samus' suit. Now, before Metroid Other M, Samus' suit was always more of a big, bulky, masculine looking suit. It was heavy, it was bulky, and overall, it looked pretty heavy. But when you look at Metroid Other M, the suit went from big and bulky to more thin and more mobile looking. So what does this mean? Well, it could just mean that the developers and modelers and all that chose to make Samus' armor more slender and more mobile because the game required more mobility of Samus. And if you tried doing some of the crazy things that Samus does in Other M using the other power suit, it'll look pretty weird and wonky. And sure, that could be the main reason why they chose a more slim suit over the more bulky suit. And aside from the power suit minor design changes, there's also some major abilities that have not been seen in other games other than Metroid Other M. Like the fact that Samus has a purple aura around her when she has the gravity suit, the fact that she doesn't need any power bomb ammo, the fact that she can charge up and replenish her own missile ammo by just charging it up, and she can heal herself without wasting any sort of ammunition whatsoever as seen in Super Metroid, which you gotta admit is pretty out there. And also she has some great agility and mobility with the power suit, which is kinda like the first time ever seen in a 3D Metroid game, and I think the most agile she's ever been in any other Metroid game. I mean, come on, she can do actual finisher moves on stunned or dazed enemies. You gotta admit that is pretty agile and badass. So was there any other situation where a power suit had to be changed due to technical or designing choice and it just ended up being canon? Well, in fact, there was also another situation where something like this similarly happened to another Metroid game. In Metroid 1, you were like an orangish yellow suit, and then when you got an upgrade like the Varia suit, you would turn purplish pink. But in Metroid 2, they had no color, so basically it went from changing color to changing the actual suit's design. And sure, that's also another developer choice. Why change the suit's color when there was no color palette to use on the Game Boy? But when you see the remake of Metroid 1, aka Metroid Zero Mission, you see that there was a canon reason for why Samus' suit went from just changing color to actually changing shape when she got a power suit upgrade. She lost her original power suit and got the legendary power suit at the end game of Metroid Zero Mission. Hashtag spoiler alert. And now it's canon. Now we know Samus got the new power suit, and that's why it changes it from Metroid 1 and Metroid 2. And something similar could have happened in between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M. Samus didn't have the same exact suit, obviously, because completely different design between both games. So what could have happened in the events of those two games? Well, I can only speculate that maybe the events between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M could show why the Federation started getting more interested in Chozo technology and the Metroids in general. Because prior to Super Metroid, Metroid 2, they instructed Samus to destroy all Metroids. But in Metroid Other M, they're right there cloning them, they're mutating them, and they're creating cyborg Zebians. And they created a mother brain clone kind of, essentially. I want to know why the change of pace and mindset. Why did it go from destroy all Metroids because they're too dangerous to we could just clone Metroids and maybe mess around with Chozo technology to see if we can do something amazing with it? Why change of pace? Maybe the Federation went exploring onto a Chozo planet, found some amazing technology, got got lost and stranded, or maybe hurt and trapped, they send Samus for help since she's experienced a lot of Chozo technology. She goes in there, gets hurt, lost, or maybe mentally hurt, and she loses the power suit, goes through some trials, gets a new power suit, saves the day, and the Federation finds out that technology of Chozos are amazing. The bad guys might not even have to be space pirates. I mean, if the Federation went into a Chozo lair or Chozo planet and got trapped, lost, hurt, or whatsoever, maybe the bad guy may not even be sentient. Maybe it could be some sort of rogue Chozo security, or Samus having to go against the actual Chozo instead of trying to protect it, or trying to go against the generic space pirates again. It would be a pretty cool, nice story. As long as they don't bring back Mother Brain, because the way she went off in Super Metroid was just pretty cool, and it would just ruin that if they brought back Mother Brain. The main objective could even be similar to what Metroid 2 did. You go to this distant planet, you go to different sectors of this planet, and you do whatever it says. Metroid 2, your objective was to kill all Metroids between each sector, and maybe this hypothetical Metroid story I'm thinking of could involve you going to different sectors and finding all these lost scientists, explorers, expeditioners. And maybe here and there you might find some story, some hidden lore, place was, and why things are going wrong, corrupted Chozo, who knows, this could be a whole cool story. But then again, this is all hypothetical, this is all fan speculation, and overall, I have really no real true evidence that this is ever going to happen. This is just me speculating. Sure, I did think of a couple of nice examples, like how Metroid 1 and Metroid 2 power suit change was turned canon due to Zero Mission, and you gotta admit that some of the abilities that Metroid Other M did were kinda out there and kinda random, but pretty cool that other incarnations of the suit didn't really do this. The only thing that I can see that really 100% debunks this is that when you're seeing the whole opening cinematic or the whole main cinematic retelling Super Metroid's ending, you can see Samus wearing the same power suit as she wore in Metroid Other M, which just proves that the whole suit redesign was just all designer's choice, all developer's choice, and it was just for that game only basically. But what do you guys think? Is this a really valid idea that Nintendo or whoever's going to develop or make the next Metroid game can work on, or do you just guys want to see another Prime 4 or Metroid Dread? You tell me. This was fun speculating, and I'll see you next time. That was a fun video, wasn't it? It was just me speculating about the possible story between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M. But if you like that video, then you can click on the video that's basically about me ranting about Metroid Prime Federation Force. And since this video took a lot longer than it should have for a reason of a playthrough I was working on with friends, you can click on Star Wars Battlefront 2 playthrough, which is going to be somewhere on the screen. Anyways, I can't do much, I'm sick. So until then, see you next time, Metro Trainer, I'm out.